Hi and a warm welcome to you if you found this video, and hopefully you find it to be of use to you. Topical video, obviously we are in a very peculiar time. Again, we thought we could see the light at the end of the tunnel, but we're just about to go into lockdown 2, which we hope is for the best, and maybe potentially the final lockdown that we have to encounter, fingers crossed. Better procedures and process can be put in place. Now, I wanted to bring to you a short video which talks about two impacts. One being the impact on businesses, the second lockdown we'll have, and another being the impact on you as a person potentially considering your future with the business that you're at or looking for new work. We like to think we've got our finger on the pulse in terms of what's going on in our marketplace. It's a big thing for me and anybody involved in the business that we do get to understand what's happening out there, and all of my consultants are exactly the same. So let's start with discussing the impact on businesses. Now, I think a lot of people would have seen that. If you're in a certain industry, for example, the hospitality sector, which we have to all feel for and really do, it's incredible the way they've been treated throughout this process, but that's a different matter altogether. Hospitality, retail, all of these industries, sorts of industries, your hair and beauty salons and things like that, are unfortunately going to fall into that category of businesses that can't remain open during this second lockdown. Now, I have a sort of personal view on that is it should be very much based on the criteria of how well they are in place to combat these things. However, that's the decision the government have made. The one thing I wanted to talk business-wise for people is, and this is more for people to understand the difference between the last lockdown and this one, is that this lockdown feels very different. From a business perspective, the biggest difference is that I'm sure I'm not alone as a business owner that will say this. I feel very different and very much prepared for what we need to do to encounter and combat head on the problems that this may cause. So with that in mind, I think it's paramount to say that there are going to be at least 50% to 75%, somewhere in that figure, more businesses that remain open in a more normal way. I'll give you an example. I thought they'd be shut, and they were during lockdown, with Specsavers. I happened to pop in there yesterday, as you'll see. I wear my specs, and I rushed in there because I thought I needed to get in there prior to them being locked down, and actually to be told, no, they're not shutting. And I've spoken to now around about 40-ish different business leaders, discussions about what their plan of attack is, for many reasons. One is to find out for the wider business community, and also to find out for ourselves as to where we really stand in that picture, and what we can do to be present, correct, and hopefully remain open. But the businesses are prepared this time round, and that is a massive difference. Last time when this hit, it was a cut and shut, let's do this, we don't know quite what this is going to be. The lack of PPE, a lack of understanding, a lack of knowledge, a lack of not a lack of actually, but more of an increased level of anxiety from people around what does this mean. This time round, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like, okay, let's stay at home, let's not do the social things that potentially could cause that interaction and increased levels of COVID. But from a business perspective, it's definitely evident that businesses are going to remain open, lots of them too. And in my opinion, rightly so. It gives us opportunity to continue. The business can keep going. The economy can not grow necessarily, but it can at least not flatline and cause long-term damage that might otherwise be irreparable. So that's the one thing. Now, we're having a lot of candidates that are obviously about to be put on furlough. People we're talking to about picking up ad hoc work and bits and bobs. The one key thing that I'd like to make people aware of is, if you are unaware of this, then you should find the knowledge elsewhere. But I'll fill you with this: is that whilst you're on furlough, you can pick up work elsewhere. So don't be afraid to get in touch with a local recruiter. It doesn't have to be us; it could be anybody that's more local to you and offer you see roles advertised, and speak to them, because in this current situation, topping up your earnings may well be the best solution to being prepared for what happens next year, because the impact is going to be far greater than what happens from week by week or the next 4 weeks in the lockdown. That the impact is going to be significant, it's going to be greater, and we need to all be ready and prepared for it. And with that in mind, I wanted to sort of talk also about those people that have contacted us recently. I think there's a lot of people that are working for organisations where they're not as decisive as they potentially should be during this period, and therefore it's causing a level of anxiety amongst their staff and their work and employees. And a lot of people are contacting us saying, I'm moving after all this is over, I'm going to find a job after all this is over. Well, my advice to those people, you've got one or two things. I think you need to be decisive is the first piece of advice I'm going to give you. Fall in one camp or the other. Either support your employer and actually back them during this really difficult time, and be in the job that you really want to be in. Be happy, give everything you've got, because at this time all hands to deck are going to be required. Doesn't matter if you're a big corporate organisation or you're a small independent business, just a few employees. Everybody plays their part, and businesses will notice when you are doing that, I can assure you. And the other thing is, if you are that unhappy and you do want to move, don't stay somewhere just for the sake of it. Even though this is a difficult time, jobs are out there. Recruitment is very active. We've got clients that are recruiting 2, 3, 4 roles during this period up to Christmas. Very unusual sort of thing. A stance. They're getting ready, because the response to this situation has got to be to move forward, be proactive, and push to gain momentum back for each and every one of our businesses. So if you're that candidate, you want to move, make that decision. Don't hold fire. There'll be plenty of people looking at after this situation. Be one of those that beats that rush. If you're happy where you are, but there's a few grumblings or you're anxious, speak to your employer, find out where you stand, and if they can give you assurances, stick with it. This video has obviously been brought to you out of, again, a topical situation that's happened within our business. People are talking to us and asking us questions, and I wanted to bring to life a video that can actually allow people to hear firsthand without so many again repeating myself to lots of different groups of people, because it is going to be discussions that are going to become very popular over the next coming months. So I hope you enjoy it. If you've got any questions, you know where we are. Please feel free to get in touch, and I hope to hear from you soon or post some more videos. Take care. Thanks.